going to tell you about how to earn crypto as a content director. But before that, I just want to tell you a bit about our event that we're going to have this week. Well, basically, there's only one left for this week. So tomorrow we're going to have a Hubut lunch out. So we invite you guys, all the members, to come with us to Afital Resort Ubud, which is only 3 minutes walks from here. And they have a restaurant on the rooftop and also a pool there, an infinity pool. So if you want to join us, please send us a message because it's only limited to 15 person. So yeah, so right now I present you Ash.
There you go, thank you. Someone used this microphone. It doesn't amplify anything, but this is for my podcast. So thank you all for coming today. So presentation is earning crypto as a content creator. So I'd like to get an idea of who we've got in the audience here. Who has a cryptocurrency wallet and has ever bought or sent any type of cryptocurrency at all? Bitcoin or Ethereum? Okay, so about half. So about half of you have not. Cool, well, welcome. So one of the things that I hope you come away with from this presentation is that you don't have to be a nerd to use cryptocurrencies, and Steam It, the highlight of this presentation, is going to show you how people are using blockchains and crypto every day without having to know how it works. Basically how you drive a car or a motorcycle every day and you probably don't have a lot of idea of how it works internally. So to give you a little background on me, my name is Ashe Oro. Got a couple engineering degrees. I was the former head of business development for an offshore bank. And I have a podcast, Liberty Entrepreneurs Podcast. And I'm also the founder of a virtual assistant business, Liberty Virtual Assistants, where I help digital entrepreneurs hire staff in the Philippines. Basically, you know, we live in this digital world and it's very expensive and troublesome to hire domestic staff sometimes, especially if you're a young startup in the digital space and you don't have a lot of resources to spend towards staffing, and I help people do that. And my latest project, which Trish is a part of, it's called Steam Smarter, and we'll get into that a little bit later, but it's a blockchain analytics and reporting bot for the Steam software, for the Steam platform itself. I'm gonna try to stay out of the light here. All right, let's do it. So, as a content creator myself, I created my podcast early on without the idea of cash flowing it. I thought maybe if I can just build a platform, build my audience, build some authority and credibility, I can have that audience to build on top of later and hopefully have some services, maybe some ebooks, maybe some courses, webinars, stuff like that, masterminds that I can upsell people if they find what I'm doing valuable, and I can start offering auxiliary products to the community that I've built. That always troubled me. I always found that I would create these podcasts, and for a while it was every week and sometimes even twice a week, and I could see myself like starting to drift away from it because there wasn't that direct financial incentive. And so I hired a virtual assistant to help me out so I wasn't spending 10, 20 hours a week, but I still noticed that I would slack a little bit because just there were other things that I could do that would be directly financially suitable for me rather than, you know, create this podcast that's only a derivative of the finances. And at the time I was working at the bank and I didn't want to work at the bank anymore. So I was like, okay, a podcast is going to be my way out. And, you know, it was a very long process. I tried to get sponsorships and it just didn't really work that well. So it got me thinking, like, what were the reasons that I couldn't create any revenue from my podcast? And a couple things. Algorithms, Facebook algorithms. How many people are content creators here? Okay, again, about half. You know, algorithms on social media will block you or they'll make it difficult for people to see, even your community, even people that like your page, to see your content. So I was getting like 5% views from my content. I would have like, you know, 1,000 followers on my page and like 50 people or 25 people would see my post. I'm like, man, I work all this hard to produce these podcasts and nobody sees them. Also, a new way to build your community. I was like, there's got to be a better way. I need more engagement. How can I reclaim my content's value? And, you know, I'm going to talk about some criticisms and competition in this blockchain social media space. All right, so why can't you get paid? Again, the algorithms hide your content. Upvotes are nearly worthless. Okay, yeah, they make you smile and it may give your content a bit more priority in the algorithms, but overall, upvotes aren't worth that much. You've got limited ways to give back to your audience. I mean, maybe you can run a contest, or maybe you can mention someone in an article or a podcast, but what does that really give that person, that audience member of yours? And the platform owners or the middlemen take most of your profits. And for me, whenever I see people posting on YouTube and have 20,000 followers, but they're making $200 a month, something seems a little bit off there. All right, so algorithms versus you. All social media networks have algorithms: Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+. Does anybody use Google+ anymore? But you have to figure out their algorithms, and they're always changing. And you're always trying to hack algorithms. It's kind of similar to SEO, right? You're trying to hack these algorithms and figure out, how do I get my content seen? And that takes up a lot of mental space. I want to be producing content, not figuring out the behind the scenes, what Facebook and Twitter are doing to try to hack that little system to get my stuff to the top, so my community who's already liking and upvoting me can actually see it. The content's also owned by the platform. If when you post on Facebook, you don't own that content, you don't own that post, they own that post, and they can do with it whatever they want. They can try to promote it, they can not promote it, they can bury it, they can highlight it, they can do whatever they want. So they own you, basically. And I think that's a big problem, because I own my content and I want to do with my content what I want, and I want to get rewarded for it, rather than the content, the platform producers, the platform creators, Facebook and these big businesses, making the majority of what the value that I put out there. Blockchains are open source, censorship free, and decentralized. This is the opposite of the current social media landscape that we've got right now. It's up to you how the content is displayed, and I'll get into that a little bit later, what I mean by why and how is up to you. But the most important thing here is that blockchains are open source for pretty much any blockchain out on the market right now available. You can download the entire source code and go in and see every single bit of it. Imagine what Facebook would say if you came to them and you were like, hey, let me see your algorithms and exactly how you're promoting or not promoting or burying my content. They'd be like, get out of here, what are you talking about? This is my IP. Well, that IP doesn't exist in the blockchain space. It's censorship free, meaning just like Bitcoin censorship free. Anyone that wants to send Bitcoin, it doesn't matter your race, your color, your creed, where you were born, what religion you are, how poor you are, rich you are, it doesn't matter. If you have Bitcoin, you can send Bitcoin and nobody can tell you no. It's completely censorship free and open source. So let's just give a little example real quick. So this is steemit.com. This is probably the most popular website for blockchain-based social media. This is the one I still use every day, but if you get on there, you may notice that it says it's still in beta, which it's been in beta for 1.5 years. As a software developer, that's a little bit silly, but it doesn't have a lot of the niceties or the user-friendly experience that some other centralized types of platforms have, Facebook and stuff like that. But just keep in the back of your mind that this is really, really new, right? Bitcoin itself came out and blockchains themselves came out in 2009, and then Steemit came out in 2016, so it hasn't even been around for 2 years yet. So remember back in your head, whenever you first started getting on the internet back in maybe 1995, 1996, that's about where we are right now relative to blockchain social media. So just remember that. But you can see here that these are users. This is how long ago they posted. I think I took this yesterday. This is the title: SteamPress now available for WordPress.org plugin. So people are building, entrepreneurs are building on top of this platform and making it more extendable for content creators like us to more easily use it. But it takes time. Now I'm going to go through a couple more iterations of front ends. And what I mean by front end is, how many of you are familiar with the concept of a blockchain, or just any type of how a blockchain stores data? All right, so it's like a database, right? It's like a database that you'd have on, or a big Excel spreadsheet. But anyone in the world can look into it. So it's a decentralized spreadsheet, basically, a decentralized database. Whenever you submit content to a social media blockchain like Steam, you're storing it into basically a database, and anyone can build a website that can look into that database and display that content in any way that they want to. Just think about it this way. Think if Facebook was open source, you could create, let's say, Ashe book, but display the contents of Facebook however you want. Well, you can't do that because Facebook is very closed source software. They don't open up their APIs for people to do that. This is where things get really interesting. So pay attention to this title right here, SteamPress now available for WordPress.org. This is another front end for Steam. So Steam is the blockchain and SteamIt, very confusing. SteamIt is the first website that was able to display the contents of the blockchain. This is another one, it's called busy.org. You'll see the same thing here, SteamPress now available in the WordPress.org plugin. It's the same post. It's just displayed on a different website in a different way that could be curated differently and displayed differently for your audience, right? Maybe this isn't the format that your audience likes. Maybe they're more graphic designers or image-related people, and they appreciate more imagery. Maybe they're nerds and they like a bunch of text and they like things looking like Reddit, or I mean not Reddit, but Drudge Report or something that's just very text-based. You could do that as well. It provides customizable front ends for people to curate content in a way that appeals to their audience. And this is something that we haven't really had before, because up to this point, a website meant a database, right? A website had a database, and that website displayed the contents of that database however they wanted. But with a blockchain social media system, the content is the content, it's raw content in the blockchain itself, and then you decide how you want to display it. And this is this is the second example of that. But check this out. This is called DTube. The D stands for decentralized. This is basically a YouTube that is run on top of the Steam blockchain. All right. You can upload your files to this website rather than uploading it to YouTube, and guess what? YouTube doesn't take a cut of the money that you make here, right? You get to interact directly with your audience, and you get to do it by putting it on a blockchain so it's censorship free. So these files are stored on hundreds, if not thousands of nodes, computers, servers running around the world, where if YouTube, owned by Google, if they don't like your content, guess what? You get shut down, or it gets removed, there is no shut you down. So if you hold beliefs that are counter to possibly your governments or a faction of people, or somebody is out there that doesn't like what you're talking about, somebody powerful doesn't like what you're talking about, they can petition YouTube to get that stuff torn down. They can't do that here because nobody owns the content. The content is distributed around the world. So how are you going to go and delete content off of 1,000 computers at the same time? Right? You can't do it. And this is one of the best things about a distributed or blockchain-based social media. And I know that the name of the presentation is How You Make Crypto, and we'll get to that soon, but I want to give you guys a little bit of background, like the foundation of why this is so groundbreaking and evolutionary in my opinion. So let's see another example. So this is called dSound. I'm sure everyone's familiar with SoundCloud, right? Where you can upload your audio. I upload my podcasts there. But again, it's centralized. If SoundCloud doesn't like what you're posting, or somebody complains to them about what you're posting, they can rip it down, right? They can remove it as if it never existed. You're dependent on some big corporation somewhere with their servers that you have no access to be nice enough to you to host your content. Well, guess what? We don't need them anymore because we do peer-to-peer. We do everything peer-to-peer now. This is a decentralized SoundCloud built on top of the Steam blockchain. This is still just content, but it's content that has been curated in a way that people who are interested in music, or this is a podcast intro, this is a song about being homo, this is atmosphere, some ballad that somebody wrote, right? They can't take this stuff down, and there's no middleman in between it. All right. I guess I can stop right there. I've just slammed you guys with a lot of information. Let me just take a breath and see if anybody's got any questions up to this point. Oh, I know somebody does.
Oh yeah, I have a question.
Sure.
Is all the content stored on all of the nodes, or is it distributed?
Yeah.
Only some of the nodes.
Yeah, for right now, Steem is stored on all the nodes. And there's other blockchains coming out that are going to cater to social media as well, where that's not going to be the case. But for now, all the content is stored on all the nodes. Yep. Yep.
Well, I'm just confused. Like, what's the difference between Steemit and busy.org?
Yes.
Make a choice?
Exactly. Thank you. I was hoping someone would ask that. So Steem is the name of the blockchain, kind of like Bitcoin's the name of the blockchain, right? Or Ethereum's the name of the blockchain. The blockchain is where everything is stored, right? So whenever you write a piece of content and you submit it, you press post, it stores into the Steem blockchain. Just like developers typically do, and as someone who was a developer, we don't always think about the user experience or the terminology of this stuff, so it gets confusing for normal people. And steemit.com is the name of the first website that displayed the contents of the Steem blockchain. Yeah, so busy.org is just another front end or another website that displays it. dsound is just another way.
Yeah.
For instance, if I wrote a post that didn't contain audio, they wouldn't show up, my post wouldn't show up on this front end, right? Because they say, hey, we're catering to an audiophile type of community. Whereas DTube, the same thing with videos.
But are there going to be like a limitless number of ways of displaying?
Absolutely, and that's the best thing about it. We're not limited in what these big companies and big corporations want to show us. If the content is in the blockchain, we're right now, just by, and I'll show you Steem Smarter later, but just for our own testing, we're basically creating our own website to display this stuff. And it's just internal. Right now we don't have any plans to release it as a public facing website, but for us it helps us test. Yeah. Great question.
You talked about algorithms and how they're always changing on the other media platforms, and it's sometimes not that transparent. On Steem, what keeps it in its governance and transparency of the algorithms, or how do we avoid that same thing happening?
Right. So with Steemit, since it is a company is behind Steemit, since they're creating the website to display the contents, they could say, hey, we don't want, let's say, porn, for instance, or we don't want anything about child abuse, this stuff on our website, and they could say, no, we're not going to display that. But since that information is still in the blockchain and it's still tagged with these various tags like podcast, dsound, electronic, original stuff like music, it's still in the blockchain. It's still available for anybody to display it however they want. Maybe if you take child abuse very seriously, you could literally create one of these that only showed topics on child abuse to try to bring awareness to it, because if it wasn't tagged with the child abuse tag, then you wouldn't show it. I mean, somebody else may not show it, but maybe that's all that you show. So unlike Facebook, we don't have access to their database. We don't know what's stored in Facebook's database. It's all our content, our collective content, but we're not really, we don't have access to it. When it's stored in a blockchain, everyone has access to it, so anyone can create their own website or front end to display it however they want.
So if Steem, the company, chooses to block it, someone else could still create a website.
Exactly.
Let's say they really want to display porn.
Yeah.
Create a porn website that's linking
Yep.
content on the blockchain that is related to that.
Exactly.
Not
Yeah.
to do that or anything.
Well, you might. I mean, you could even get paid to watch porn, which is crazy, But yes, Trish.
I'll follow up with a question. Is there
Yeah.
any way for us to see transparency on what Steemit's current algorithm is? And do they publish those rules that they put in place?
Yeah, so Steemit right now really doesn't have any algorithm. It's kind of like just everything's thrown up there. There's really no sorting or filtering at all, and that's why a lot of people have problems or frustration, especially new users with Steemit, is because it's very, let's say, developer driven rather than user interface driven, and so it's just a lot of stuff. And we're actually building a bot right now to help people make sense of Steem, and where you can post smarter, and we call it Steem Smarter, but see what tags people are using, see what tags you should be using, see where the community is engaging, and trying to bring a bit more community around what's kind of the wild west of just posting on social media, blockchain social media right now. Yes.
Okay, so what's the difference between these and any other website? Are you still
No, you're not. I mean, yes, you are, but you have the ability, like anyone has the ability to build a new website that displays the.
Any developer, which
Yeah.
is exactly what happens now. It's just that instead of storing it on a server, you store it on a blockchain.
Right.
And instead of being subject to the regulators of the server, you're subject to the regulators of the software. But
Right.
still same.
Right, of the website.
Well, software website.
Right.
Well, how we gonna call it?
Yeah, but the difference is if you didn't like the way that Facebook was displaying your content, are you going to build another website that taps into the Facebook API and database and just rebuild a new Facebook interface? Well, you can't because it's closed sourced.
I know it, but I would just build another website, right? And so here, if Steam doesn't allow me to post what they don't want,
Right.
I'm not going to be able to save it in the Steam blockchain because I don't have software for it unless I don't build it myself.
Well, anybody can post into the Steam blockchain. You don't need to use steemit.com to submit new posts to the Steam
Well,
blockchain.
you need an interface. I mean,
Yeah, for sure. The access is there. I mean, it's you can't just type like new post in Steam blockchain enter. I mean, you've got to figure out how to communicate with these blockchains.
Yeah, exactly. So
Right.
you still need to be a developer to do that. So
Yeah.
my question, I
Sure.
guess, how is this open instead of an...
Yeah, because well, you don't have to be a developer because there are people creating, just like you don't have to be a mechanic to drive your car, right? You don't have to be a developer to submit to the Steam blockchain because there's multiple people who have already created these front ends to allow you to submit posts to the Steam blockchain. Maybe I don't understand the question.
No, it's me. Maybe I'm not. I'm not phrasing it right. I mean, yeah, I don't need to be a mechanic to drive a car.
Right, and
Like,
you
I don't
don't.
need to be a developer to be on Facebook.
Right.
But if I don't like any of the cars that are around, I need to be a mechanic to build one.
Yeah, for sure.
So here I need to be a developer to build something to post in the blockchain if I
Yeah.
don't like any of these guys.
Right. Or you need to be an entrepreneur who can put a team together, or you need to be a venture capitalist that can fund an entrepreneur who can put a team together, or you need to be somebody that has a lot of free time and become a developer, or you are a developer and build your own. What I'm saying is that the opportunity is there. Whereas with Facebook, the opportunity is not there because it's a closed system, it's a closed database that you don't have visibility to. At least with an open source blockchain, you have all the tools, you get access to all the APIs, and you have the opportunity to build something. Whereas in traditional social media like Facebook, Twitter, you don't even have the opportunity to build it. I think that's the big difference.
The other thing is that those, let's say you stay with the premise, you build your own website, how do you get the eyeballs for content? Because YouTube and Facebook,
Yep.
they are offering the eyeballs,
Sure.
and algorithms are precisely targeting the eyeballs you want to target.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
how do you do that?
Yeah, I mean, and that's what every content creator struggles with, right? How do I get people to my site? Even how do I get people to my Facebook page? How do I get people to my YouTube page? The difference is whenever you get people to your YouTube page right now, YouTube takes most of the profit, right? So it's that fine line, it's that equation between how many people do I need to get to my page or my channel versus how much money am I making on my channel. Maybe with YouTube, you can get 20,000 people to your channel and you make $300. Whereas maybe with DTube, you get 300 people to your channel and you could make $500. I don't know. And so yeah, driving traffic is, that's the quintessential like golden key of the internet. I'm not sure. We'd have to talk to some of our SEO people.
Can I add a clarification on that?
Sure.
You can embed the voting mechanism on any website. So if you have your own website, you can put that upvote button at the bottom, and instead of someone clicking like at the bottom of your Squarespace or WordPress post, if they have a Steam account, they can be giving you money through your interface. It doesn't need to be like your whole Explorer. You can just literally embed it anywhere like you would YouTube video.
Right, and people are building stuff like this, like Steam Press is available for WordPress, right? So if you have a WordPress site, install this plugin, and you can start putting these upvotes on your own website, right? So you don't even have to drive people to these other websites. Let's say YouTube wanted to integrate with Steam, well, they could, and they could put a Steam upvote on YouTube itself. Now, I don't think they would because they're a competitor, but let's say I have libertyentrepreneurs.com, my podcast, and I could, if I wanted to, and if I could figure out how to do it, I could embed these upvotes and just keep driving people to my website like I've been doing for several years now.
That's what I'm talking about. If you drive people to your website
Right.
to publish your content, that's the output.
Yeah, you
Versus
gotta build something that's useful and interesting and
Yeah, yeah.
people need it.
Right. and appeal to your audience and know who your audience is, you know. But if you can drive content, then you can drive, I mean, if you can drive traffic, you can drive traffic, right? And it's just now you get to drive traffic to where an upvote matters, right? This guy's getting paid out over $1,000 for this post. Whereas if you put it on your website, then, I mean, how are you going to get paid out at all?
So we haven't quite covered this yet. Where's that money coming from? So
Yeah, exactly. We'll get there. Yeah, exactly.
You just said that he's not getting money through posting on his website, but if that plugin is on his WordPress website,
Then he would.
He is making money.
That's right. So the question was, you know, the statement was, he's not making money on his website, but if he incorporates this plugin and starts posting in the Steem blockchain, then yeah, he or she could be making money by posting on his website. All right. Great questions. Let's rock through here. All right, and this is one more. This is one of my personal favorites. Somebody created a Steem front end just for memes, right? Solely for memes, and it's called dmania.lol. And I freaking love it. It shows you like how niche you can get down to displaying just the type of content you want. And I want to show you guys this because it's actually legitimate here. Like this is it live right now, right? This is, now you can see it, super simple interface, but people are posting, see dmania.lol, people are posting, they're posting memes and literally getting paid for it. I mean, this guy, look, $83, it shows you how small this space is right now. There's just not that many memes. Nobody's using this stuff, so the people using it are getting paid, right? So we've got some little animation, and I hope it loads up, of a monkey chasing a banana, and the payout's already 83 bucks, right? So it shows you how you can curate content specifically for your audience. All right, let's get out of here. Right. I love this. Oh, crap. I love this down here. You can't really see it, but oh, full screen.
Is there a way to prevent spam? Like if I post 1,000 memes, is there a way to prevent that?
Yeah, so there is, and that gets a little bit technical, but whenever you have the Steem currency, and we'll go over this in a minute, and you power it up or you stake it, basically saying, hey, I'm locking up this currency, I'm showing my dedication to the community, then it unlocks more bandwidth for you. So if you're a brand new account, you can't just spam because you don't have a lot of the currency, therefore you don't have a lot of access. But you still have enough access to post several times every day and comment and vote and all that stuff, but you can't send like 1,000. And there's also a way, just like you can upvote people and give payouts, you can downvote people and take away payouts, right? And so if you're a spammer and like I see you spamming, then I can like start downvoting you and your reputation starts going down. And then, you know, you'll get people's attention. All right. So this is the last example I'll show you. This is called dlive.io, and I think we're on dlive.io right now. It's the first time I've been using it actually. This is kind of like Facebook Live or Twitch. I don't know if you guys are gamers, but we are streaming live and writing to the Steem blockchain right now at streaming video and audio. And you can see that people, and I haven't, this isn't a live site, so this is just a screenshot. That's why it says nothing's live right now. Otherwise, we would be up there. But you can see people have uploaded videos, people have done streaming, and so it's just another way to display the type of content that you want to display for your community without having to get anyone's permission. All right. So, how do you reclaim your content's value? As we said, traditional social media, the platform creators control both the finances and your content. There's no way for you to monetize your content on these social media sites without going through and getting the approval of these guys, right? And that's what blockchain-based social media is changing. They profit directly from the money that you make by taking a cut and selling your data, right? Let's take an example of Patreon. You know, this is what a lot of content creators use, and it's really good. Of course, Patreon takes a cut, but it also creates the barrier, the hurdle of people having to sign up, get out their credit card, enter their details, or sign up with PayPal or something. As a content creator, we want it to be as easy as possible for our audience to support us. So, I think this is a new way of building community. and now upvotes on traditional social media do establish importance and relevance and social significance, but they don't offer any financial reward. And I know everybody's wondering, where's the financial reward paying for? Is this a Ponzi scheme? It's difficult to give back to your audience. Maybe you could, like I said, maybe you could call them out and be like, hey, thanks Bob Smith for upvoting every single podcast that I ever put out and commenting. I really appreciate you. I'm going to give you a shout out in my next podcast. But what if you could like his comment, Bob's comment, and give him $1 of cryptocurrency where he can cash out, right? Or that he could reinvest in the platform and increase his influence or authority in that community. Since we have peer-to-peer money, we get to bypass the big banks. And as a previous offshore banker myself, it is my mission to end the banking system as we know it. Because I built it, right? I was there. I was the guy shutting down your account because I didn't like the way that you wrote an email, or how you didn't offer an invoice or a contract to me expressing exactly how much money somebody was sending you, who was sending it, why they were sending it, and the goods and service rendered for that payment. I was the guy that said, no, you're not allowed to receive this money, or you're not allowed to send this money. Well, that's crap. And now we don't have to do that anymore, because we've got peer-to-peer money. We get to bypass the banks, which allows us to introduce micropayments for votes. You can enable voting, like we were talking about, enable voting on your own website, and soon on the Steemit blockchain, you can launch your own token. So with Liberty Entrepreneurs, I could launch the Liberty token if I wanted. And yet it doesn't have value at first because nobody accepts it, right? Nobody cares about it. But if I'm able to create value through my podcast, through this community, and through the content that I create, then all of a sudden there's going to be demand for my token, and I create my own little economy. Maybe I sell Liberty Entrepreneur shirts and I accept my own token for it, or sponsorships for my show and I accept my own token for it. Over time, those tokens have value that people are willing to spend, and basically you've created your own money that way. Remember, all value is just subjective. Everything has value because we think as humans that it has value. I used to be a big gold and silver bug. Right? Gold and silver were free market money. It was how the people were going to get out of this old banking system and how we were going to achieve monetary freedom, separation of the state and money, right? But the argument was always, well, if there was a ton of gold on Mars, how much would it be worth? And it really spun me. And I was like, well, it wouldn't be worth anything because you couldn't do anything with it. Same thing about these tokens. They only have value because we as a society say and think they have value. All right, so here's just a couple examples of some of the podcasts that I have uploaded to Steemit. You know, this one's about creating passive income with cryptocurrency. This is just a quote card that I pull out from this guy's interview with me, and I cashed these out. Right, this is real money. I sold the cryptocurrency after the cash out day, and we actually popped bottles of champagne with it, and it was a lot of fun, right? But just to prove specifically to Trish that this is real, because I was trying to get her on board for a new Steem bot that I'm trying to build, and she was like, okay, yeah, sure, that's money, but it's like money on the platform. Like, what can we really do with it? And I was like, well, we can buy a couple bottles of champagne with it. Let's cash it out. And we found somebody who wanted to buy cryptocurrency, and we converted this Steem to Bitcoin and Ethereum, and we sold that for cash in Chiang Mai, Thailand for Thai baht, and went to the market and balled out for a little bit, right? Just as like proof that this happens, the whole circle, there's not any missing links. So these are comments. These are some comments from some of my audience on my post. And so now this person comments on every single post that I put up there. And I wonder why. Because I don't even know if this is a guy or a girl. I think he or she's from Canada, but maybe French Canada because their English isn't the best. But you can see that all of a sudden this person commented on my post, and I appreciate it so much that I upvoted them for $1.14. And then people start upvoting me, right? And it's like, I'm sure you're thinking right now, oh, this is definitely funny money, right? You're just upvoting each other and you're giving each other money. Like, how in the hell does that work? Imagine what you can do to build an audience. Let's just assume right now that it's not a Ponzi scheme. And we're going to talk about the financials here in a minute. Just assume that it works for now, okay? Imagine what you can do as a content creator if you're able to upvote someone, comment on your post, and pay them out, all right? Pay them out, where they get this in their wallet, and I'll show you an example of my wallet in a minute. Are they more or less likely to follow you and start engaging on your content and keep coming back than if you couldn't pay them out, right? We've introduced a peer-to-peer financial system within social media, and that's the revolutionary aspect here. Okay, here we go. Drum roll, please. Oh, we got a question in the back.
But aren't you essentially then buying your followers? Wouldn't it be better if you're focused on creating content that's going to engage them when they want to upvote you regardless?
That's true, but what, I mean, we're talking about incentives here. Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, you're buying your followers, but what is marketing? What is trying to get in front of people, right? I mean, money talks and people listen, right? Yes?
So you say you pay them, do you literally pay them?
No, I don't have to pay them.
Okay.
They get allocated new Steam currency.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't pay them out of pocket. Thank you. I don't pay that out of pocket, right?
I guess that's where you stop.
Yeah.
But you are actually, because that Steam has real value.
Yeah,
In
but
that moment.
but it doesn't mean that I can direct that to myself.
No.
Yeah.
You're giving someone Steam.
Yeah, but it's not my Steam.
That's what I'm saying. It's not yours.
No,
That's
it's not my
yours.
Steam.
Sorry.
So what happens is, I'm sure everybody's heard of Bitcoin. New Bitcoin's created every single day, right? Multiple times a day. It's called mining. And it only goes, when a new Bitcoin is mined, it only goes to the miners. There's one type of person in the world that all the new Bitcoins go to, and it's the miners. With Steam, they have a bit of a change in the incentive model for who gets the new currency, the new Steam currency that gets created. And this isn't uncommon. Governments around the world print new money every single day. We don't know how much. We don't know who they're giving it to, right? And so it's a very black box type of thing. We have to trust them that they're going to take care of the value of our currency. Well, with blockchains, it's the same thing. New currency is minted, mined, produced, created, whatever you want to say, every single day. But the awesome thing is we don't have to trust anybody, because since it's all open source, we see A, how much new currency is being created every day, and B, where that currency is going, who is it going out to. So this isn't foreign, it's actually happening every day with any paper money that you hold. It's just a more open source and transparent way of doing it based on voluntary action rather than the force-based black box, confusing, frustrating way that it's currently being used by your governments, okay? So new Steam gets created every day. The question is, who does it get paid out to, and how do we allocate it? Well, in Steam, you allocate it by thumbing people up, by upvoting people. And you also get it by sharing, by commenting, right? Let me give you an example. Let's say that North Korea, a big fear right now in the United States, and I haven't been there in about a year, but a big fear right now is that North Korea is going to launch a missile, right, and aimed at LA or something. Well, okay, let's just say it happens. Let's say it happens. Somebody's living in North Korea or South Korea, and they hear this. Maybe they work for the government. They hear like, hey, this is going to happen, and they post it on Steam It, because if they post it on regular social media, it would be censored and be taken down. Well, on Steam It can't do that, right? But what happens is this is going to go viral, most likely. This post is probably going to go viral, and if you share or if you comment or if you upvote a post really early on that's going to go viral, well, you get rewarded with curation rewards, because it incentivizes people to find what will be high quality, in-demand content. You find it early, and then you get rewarded for finding that early and start spreading that information, right? And so in the Steam blockchain, people who create content and people who curate content are given that new Steam currency as it's created every day. So instead of just giving it to some miners who are faceless, we don't even know who they are, now the incentive to pay out goes to the content creators and the curators. So every day when the new Steam currency gets created, we, the content creators, and the members who are engaging in that online blockchain-based social media society or community, we're the ones receiving the benefit. Now, a question. What happens whenever there's X amount of money in a system and new money gets introduced into that system, gets added to that system? What happens to the existing money? Yeah, it's devalued, right? Exactly, it's devalued. And so theoretically, that would be what's happening. And that's what's happening to the Thai baht in your pocket. Well, we don't have Thai baht here. The rupiah, right? That's what's happening to the rupiah in your pocket right now. The more money that the government prints, theoretically, the less value your money has in your pocket. Why this doesn't have, why the value can still go up while new money is introduced to the system is because the value being created is enticing more people to buy the currency. So more people are putting money into the system right now to counteract and offset the new money, the new Steam being created. If no new money came into the Steam currency and they continue to inflate or add new currency to the system, yes, the money would depreciate in value. But this is common to every currency that we know. Even gold, even new gold is being mined every year, and so more capital has to find its way into the gold market specifically to keep the value even stable. If more demand comes in for the Steam currency, just like for gold or for silver, then the price can stay either stable or even rise in value.
But Bitcoin isn't, right? They already, there are like 25 million Bitcoins.
Well,
not,
right.
There is some kind of cap on.
Yeah, so there is a.
It hasn't been reached yet.
No, it hasn't been reached yet, but that also values the Bitcoin very much.
Right. Yeah, so once all the Bitcoins are mined, then if any new money comes into Bitcoin, it would raise the price of Bitcoin because there's no new inflation. Steam currently is about 9.25% inflation per year, which is about the same as Bitcoin currently. And over time, it's going to go down. The new inflation as a percentage of the overall money supply, the Steam money supply, will go down to 1/4% a year. But we need to have some inflation in the Steam system so that we can continue to pay out the content creators. But since you don't want, if you have 100 Steam and then you have 9% inflation, well then you just have 109. But what if that grows to 1 million Steam and you have 9% inflation? Well, now you have a lot more Steam being introduced. So over time the inflation rate goes down so much that as a percentage of the overall available supply of the currency, it becomes so little.
Is there a limited supply?
No, there's not a limited supply. The new Steam that gets introduced just goes down to such a small fraction of the overall supply that for the most part it's negligible, assuming that the platform is still strong and people are still using it and it's seeing capital come into it. But what is an unlimited supply is like the US dollar, right? There's a lot of trees in the world and it doesn't cost that much to make dollars, and so they can continue to print and print and print and print. Well, it's not restricted by mathematics, right? The great thing about an open source blockchain-based currency is it's restricted by mathematics, and we can go in and see the inflation rate every year and when it's going to drop off. Some cryptocurrencies, they have no inflation. Like there's one called Augur. They're built on top of Ethereum. They came out after their crowd sale and they released 100% of their currency, and there will never be another Augur token created. So every dollar that gets introduced and added to the Augur system directly increases the price of Augur because it doesn't have to counteract any inflation or new money coming into the system. With Steam, we don't have that option because what would happen if there was no new Steam being created? What would that mean for us, the users or the content creators?
The audience, I guess.
Well, kind of. What else?
You pay yourself.
Yeah, you'd have to come out of pocket. Right? You'd have to come out of pocket. There would be no block reward every day to pay people out. You'd have to pay them out of the Steam that you hold. So there's a couple of different currencies in Steam, and I'm not going to get into the technicals of it, but think about it as there is the base currency, Steam. There's another currency called Steam dollars, which ideally matches 1-to-1 with the US dollar. So theoretically, one Steam dollar, and this is done by some very interesting economics, one Steam dollar is worth one US dollar at least. Right now, one Steam dollar is a lot of people that are speculating on these Steam dollars, and they bid up the price. Right now, they're about $3 a piece, right? But one Steam dollar will be at least worth $1. It gives you a bit of stability, because the price of Steam has been everything from 15 cents to $8. The price of Steam dollars has never dropped below, it's maybe been 97 cents, but because of the way it's created, because of the economic model behind it, it continues to be around at least $1. And then and you get paid out Steam dollars and Steam whenever you post. Okay, and I'll show some examples of this. There's another one called Steam Power, and this is the interesting one for me. Steam Power is basically when you commit your Steam currency to the community. And what that means is you put it in for a time period and you say, I'm going to be a content creator on this platform, and I'm going to show you that I'm committed to this community, and it basically shows your commitment and your authority to the platform and the community and for potential audience members. Whenever you power up your Steam, you're basically staking it for a 13-week period. But what you get in return is it increases your vote's worth. So if you always start out with like 1 or 2 or 3 Steam Power, and your upvote's worth like 1 penny. Then if you start, you can buy Steam and power it up, or you can just make Steam by being a content creator and power it up. Your vote could then be worth 4 cents or 5 cents or $1, right? And I'll show you some examples of this. But at any time, you can say, I no longer agree with what this community stands for, and I'm going to power down all of my Steam, and I'm going to take that value somewhere else, right? It's all voluntary. Okay, so this is an example of a wallet, and you can see that there's Steam, Steam Power, and Steam dollars. And you can see over here that this person has 394 Steam. That could be powered up. But remember, this is a currency that you can send. I could send, if one of you guys built a website for me or something, it cost me $1,000, I could send you Steam and pay in Steam if you would accept it. Maybe you don't. Otherwise, I could send this out and convert it to Bitcoin, convert it to Ethereum, convert it to any coin that you wanted, and just be in the digital crypto economy. This is Steam that has been powered up, or basically locked up. They're like influence tokens. Influence tokens which give you more control over post payouts and allow you to earn more on curation rewards. Okay, well, this is my wallet. Part of Ashe Oro's Steam Power is currently delegated away. That basically means that I could have that influence, but I've decided to share that influence with other people to help them become a more influential, so they can upvote their community, they can better build their community. Because honestly, I don't need all this Steam Power, right? Because this upvote's worth maybe $10, $11, $12. So I've delegated away some to our bot, Steam Smarter, because we want to build an audience. And right now, we don't have any Steam. And so our upvote's worth like less than a penny. But I delegated a couple thousand Steam to us, Steam Power to us, and now our upvote's worth about 50 cents. So now we have something to give back to our community that's growing. And then Steam dollars, again, you get paid out in Steam dollars for your post. It's the liquid asset. A little side note here, Steam savings account. This is really interesting, and I think this is one thing that really attracted me to this platform. Is it's a 3-day withdrawal period. Basically, a lot of people get hacked. A lot of Bitcoiners get hacked, and they instantly get their Bitcoin sent out, never to be seen again. Right? If your Steam account got hacked, well, even if, so I could put all this Steam in my savings account. Even if you got hacked, they would have to power it down for 3 days in your savings account, and so that would give me 72 hours to try to figure out, like, holy shit, I've been hacked. I've got to like figure out what to do. Oh, but at least my cryptocurrency isn't instantly gone like in almost every other blockchain. This gives me a couple days to like catch my breath and try to figure out what the best opportunity I have to protect my assets, whereas this just isn't available in other blockchains. Yes, Trish?
Where would I see something like this?
Yeah, so you see something like this. Let me show you guys. Let me see if I can. So I'll just take you to the website right now. I know we're going to run a little bit long. I don't know how long I have, but cool. All right. So this is the live feed right now. So here's like your little icon. You just come down here to your wallet, and you know, this is kind of like your dashboard of your Steam account, and this is your number of followers. Oops, how many posts you've got, right? And it's a little bit off-centered here, but this is where all of your information is. This is, you know, I could power this up and increase my ability to influence where the new Steam is being allocated, right? The more Steam power you have, the more influence you have. Buy, sell, transfer to savings. I could transfer it. So you can see down here, as you spend time on the system, as you curate, as you comment, as you upvote, you get rewarded. Yeah, it's not much, but you know, it just automatically goes into your wallet. So yeah, these are literally all my transactions. It's a very transparent and open type of blockchain.
Can you see other people's wallets?
You can see other people's wallets. So let's click into this person's wallet, who they did some work for me. And you can come down here and you can see this person transferred 176 Steam to Poloniex, which is a exchange, right? And they cashed out. You can see that they claimed some rewards right here for 25 Steam dollars and 4.5 Steam power. So it's, you know, it's live. I mean, it's all out there on the blockchain, and you can see if anybody's doing any shady stuff, then you see it. It's all transparent. This is how we create like a transparent, honest, free society, right? We're not hiding behind like government regulations and closed books and stuff. We put it out there, and if you're doing some weird shit, then everybody's going to know about it. All right. So let's keep rocking here. We're almost done. Okay, I just showed you guys that. That's just some transactional information. This is a really cool website called steamworld.org, and since steemit.com isn't really being developed very, very actively right now, people are tapping into the blockchain and pulling out all this information and building user interfaces around it, right? Just like you can build a new user interface to submit new posts, you can also create user interfaces to display the information that's stored in the blockchain. Account data, post data, right? Tag data. This was, I took this yesterday, I think, and this shows you I had 80.64% of my voting power. So the more you vote, your power goes down, just like in a video game. And then like you eat some mushrooms or something and you get recharged. Okay, maybe not. But over time, you can see in 23 hours, 13 minutes, I'll be back at 100% voting power. And so as you vote, the value of your vote goes down. I think if I was at 100% voting power, this would be worth about $2.64 or maybe $3 or something. And if I just kept voting, it would come down here and eventually be worth nothing. You know, it gives that gamification aspect. So if I have a lot of Steam, I just can't go and abuse it and just keep voting full Steam for all of my friends. And over time, it degrades, right, in purchasing power and in value. But you can see all sorts of stuff here. Man, I wish I had some more time. I could show you guys this website. Maybe I will. This is the same website, just a different module of that website. This is one post that I wrote a couple days ago. I recently did a presentation in Chiang Mai on Steam and BitShares and the EOS blockchain. And you can see this is what people upvoted me, and this is the amount that they upvoted me and the power. So you can choose, like, I want to give you 100% upvote. I want to give you a 5% upvote. Yeah, you're pretty good. I'll give you a 50% upvote. This person gave me 100% full upvote, and it was for $24. He was this much of the total payout, all right? John Smith, I have no clue who these people are, by the way. They're just voting me up. John Smith, old John Smith, also gave me 100% upvote, and his is worth $7.70. And you can see like what people are giving me. This person only thought it was worth 10% of her upvote, Erica Harris, I do know her, which was worth 26 cents, All right, maybe I need to ask her why she doesn't like what I'm doing. But yeah, I just find that really interesting. I mean, not only do I know these people like what I'm doing, but I can see in a number value, a price, how much they think I'm worth, maybe how much my post is worth. I don't know. But okay, here's a little hack for you. If you do get on Steam, we have things called auto voters. And so if there's someone that you just really appreciate and constantly find value in what they're producing, you can go to steamauto.com, free service, and you can give somebody an auto vote. So every time that person posts, even if you're on vacation or you don't get on Steam for a while, you auto vote them to the percentage. And I think this guy Fabio from Germany, he's a really cool guy. I want to give him 100% upvote every time he posts something on Steam. And this is the way that I'm able to do that.
Like Patreon?
Yeah, kind of like Patreon, exactly. Thanks, Trish. But without having to come out of pocket. Okay, so before we get into this, I want to give you guys a chance to ask questions about the financials, because I know that this is like a really different type of social media, and a lot of people think that it's still a Ponzi scheme. So yes.
First of all, is the content mostly about crypto?
No, it's about everything. And I'll show you, like we've got some screenshots of our yet to be released Steam Smarter app, and I'll show you like some of the highest paid outs for the last previous days.
Yeah, I had the same question because I've seen Steemit before, and like there's so many posts on Steemit about Steemit, and wondering like what those are like really high earning ones.
Yeah, they used to be. They're not so much anymore. Yeah. People were so excited when Steemit just came out that they were like, yes, let's just talk about ourselves and upvote ourselves all the time. But now, like, the most active community in Steemit is the Korean community, actually, and I think you'll see this in some screenshots. And we didn't really know this until we started building this analytics bot. And we were like, holy crap, like the most active, most paid out community is like the Koreans right now. We would have never guessed that, except now we're doing the analytics.
So we built the analytics because we were curious about what's happening behind the scenes. Like the interface is so underdeveloped, you only see the latest stuff. You don't really get a feel for where the activity is and where the money's being made.
Yeah, a lot of stuff gets buried. Yeah. And so the idea behind Steam Smarter is like to reach down in there. There's like gold down there, and like pull that out and let's see.
You're miners.
We're data miners. We're blockchain data miners, exactly. It's so interesting too because, you know, we've all heard about cryptocurrency miners and like Bitcoin that get paid out. Well, we're not mining the actual cryptocurrency. We're just mining the data and putting it in a way to show you how best to like, well, to how to Steam Smarter. Yeah. Yes.
I noticed before in the other person's wallet they connected their Steam to OAS. Is that tradable, or is it just Steam dollars? Is it token?
Yeah. So both Steam and Steam dollars are liquid assets. Yeah. The only thing you can't transfer out and sell is Steam power. But like I've done, you can delegate your Steam power to someone, which increases their like influence on the Steam, or the amount that they can allocate to pay out. Yeah. Yes.
Is this the only blockchain that does this, or are there like platforms that do it?
Currently, this is the only blockchain that does this. Now, I'll get into a couple competitors that have forked Steam, specifically one Russian team and one Chinese team who like the concept, but they wanted more control over the finances and the inflation. So, yep.
What's the main argument people give for it to be a Ponzi scheme?
Because they don't understand how the money gets created. They don't understand that every currency they've ever owned is the exact same. Yeah.
What can why would an investor buy Steam, except for like maybe some quick speculation, or what's the utility of Steam itself? Why would I buy Steam?
Right. The utility is if you're a content creator, it gives you more authority over allocating the inflation. And so you can grow your community. The more Steam power you have, the more powered up Steam you have. Go ahead.
How do I go from Steam to Steam power?
Yeah, it literally just in the wallet. It's like power up.
Like 1-to-1 or something?
Yeah, Steam power is Steam. You've just committed it to the system.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
So the whole demand of the currency is for allocation of inflation?
Yes, basically. Yeah, allocation of inflation. Right. It's also like, you know, Reddit points or something. It's like Sky Miles or whatever, but it's something that actually has a financial aspect to it that you can cash out if you want to. Yes?
So how does does it actually get created? Because like in Bitcoin, there's like, you know, proof of work, and like the difficulty gets
Yeah.
adjusted over time depending on the level of growth of transactions. And
Yeah.
does that have a similar
Yeah,
system?
yeah. So there's still miners in Steam, and they do get paid out a portion of the inflation, but not 100% of it, like say in Ethereum or in Bitcoin. I think it's like 15% they get paid out. Something called the witnesses get paid out 15%. Basically, the people that run servers to witness the blocks and make sure no funny business is going on, and then the rest of it gets paid out to the content creators and curators. Yeah. All right. So how do you get started? Sign up for an account on steemit.com. I've already heard one person say that she tried to create an account a couple days ago, and this is one of the major criticisms right now. How the Steam system works, you have to be delegated a small amount of Steam power just to be able to post, right? And that really slows down the account creation process. But if you go to speed up the process, you can go to anon.steam.network. It's a website that, yep. So, but basically, you have to either since you need to have some Steam power in order to have access to the network, and you don't want to wait the couple days for like once a week or something, it goes and distributes all the new Steam power to the new accounts. You can pay in Bitcoin or Litecoin or Steam currency if you have it, and basically front yourself that Steam power to get your account created instantly. I think it costs like 2 Steam or something. I think they charge 5 Steam, but then you get 3 Steam in your account as Steam power afterwards. So you're paying essentially 2 Steam for it. But you can pay in Bitcoin and Litecoin. So you go to steemit.com or anon.steam.network, get signed up, and start blogging. Figure out, find your voice. If you have content that you've already created, repurpose some of it. It's not really frowned upon as long as it's your original content. And there are bots that run on Steam that will search your content and do Google searches and see if you're ripping someone off or copyright, going against copyright or plagiarizing someone. And it'll literally post in there like, this is plagiarized content. We found it here on CNN.com, for instance. So, in high school, they always told us we had to be like so diligent about not copying somebody's content. And whereas in the real world, not in the educational world, bots just do it for us, right? So if you're out there schmoozing somebody else's content, then you're going to get caught and you're going to start getting downvoted, and you're not going to realize any rewards out of that content you stole.
I want to add something to that. A lot of people think that this is positive to help the community grow. So whales, so to speak, people that have a large upvote or downvote, back these spam bots so that they can potentially get rid of all of your rewards. It's not just like a couple cents off here and there.
Yeah, you just get slammed because you're stealing somebody's content. Like if you post an article that I wrote or something. I used to have people posting my podcast on Steam and basically front running me before I could get them up there. And then, that was a year ago, but now there's bots that just sniff this stuff out and just flag and call everyone out. And you'll lose reputation really quickly.
So when you get downvoted, what happens?
It takes away money. It takes away some of your reward total. Yeah, so if you had like $3 in rewards and you posted one of my articles, I could come through and flag you and just take it all away.
Right.
Yep.
What do you mean by reputation?
So reputation, just like a lot of social media platforms, you build up there's like a point system or reputation showing if you're a good actor on the platform, how much you engage. Some old school forums, it's just like number of posts was your reputation. But here it's an algorithm based on, are you getting upvotes? Who's upvoting you? Are you getting downvotes? How many? How often do you post, comment, stuff like that? So what I found is create daily content. I mean, just like any content creator, if you create daily content, you're going to start getting noticed. Follow influencers. Definitely don't try to grow yourself in a bubble. Find some people to follow and comment on their stuff. And then make sure you're upvoting other people, upvoting your audience, upvoting the people that comment. Even if they don't have a lot of Steam power themselves so that they can't give you a very powerful or an expensive upvote, over time, if they're engaging in the community, they're going to accumulate Steam power, and then you're going to have them on your side. They're going to be on your team and follow you around. And you have the option to power up, or you can just cash out. All right, so I'll speed through this. Remember, Steam was just the first blockchain-based social media, kind of like MySpace. And there's quite a few criticisms, and there's going to be competition, as we would expect in the marketplace. but the initial mining caused a couple very influential whales, people that own 1 million Steam. You know, their accounts are worth several $1,000,000. If you receive an upvote from them, it could be worth hundreds of dollars, maybe $200 or $300 or $400, $500, $1,000 just for a single upvote. So a lot of people, you know, try to find out what these whales want and write what they're hungry for. But this isn't necessarily a good thing because it centralizes the power a bit. But that's how this system was created. In the future, there's going to be many other social media, blockchain-based social media outlets, platforms that don't have this problem. Remember, this was the first. Rarely is the first rendition the best. I mean, I don't know who's still using Windows 95, right? But also knowing what topics you can write about, and then figuring out what the community wants and writing about those topics. For instance, if you're an animal lover, you could write about dogs, rabbits, and cats, but maybe people want to read about cats most often. Well, right now, there's not a really good way to figure that out until we release Steam Smarter, and then we'll show you what's the most in demand.
So when you do a post, you can choose up to 5 tags, and the tags you choose allow you to get visibility on those feeds. So choosing the one that's both relevant to your content and has like engagement and financial opportunity is important, and that's what we're trying to figure out.
Right. Some competitors, so other social media blockchain social media platforms, yours.org is one, but when you thumb somebody up, when you upvote someone there, it actually takes money from you. So you have to fund your account. It's not paid out of inflation. There's another one called Library, which is similar to Steam, but much smaller community, which they are more academic based. There's you own your own work.org. Basically, this is the Chinese fork or clone of Steam. And then golos.io, which is the Russian clone of Steam. I don't know what Golos means. So here's just a shameless plug for Steam Smarter. This is currently, we're in beta, and this is basically, we run daily reports to try to help you figure out who's getting paid out and where the engagement is. So you can see on this day, February the 6th, the best tag to use was Beyond Bitcoin. I don't know what this tag is. I've never even read a Beyond Bitcoin post, but it was paying out on average $85.52 per post. And you can see we go down and we rank these. We also look for average vote payout, meaning the power of the vote. When somebody upvotes you, the average upvote for dsound-rock was worth $5.88. And in the tag community news, the average comment was getting paid out $1.23. So that's where the money's flowing to. This is the engagement. This shows you that Korea-travel, there were 12.68 on average comments for every post, and that was the highest, right? So that had the most comment engagement per post on the platform for that day, February the 7th. The tag Spanish had over 52 votes per post, so a lot of people were upvoting Spanish that day. And then travel had over 2,000 unique users within the last 24-hour period, just to show you where the excitement is and where people are hanging out. And again, we rank these with a score that we've developed, as well as break out the post per vote, some of that stuff to try to help you see where's the money and where are people hanging out. And just yesterday, I saw that Engadget, a really big tech outlet, has joined Steam. They have 1.6 million followers on Facebook, and they just decided that Engadget is now on Steemit. And so they, the weird world of functional blockchain social networks, right? I anticipate that a lot more people, a lot more of these established media outlets are going to come over to Steam, because who doesn't want to give back in a new way to their community?
Add something.
Yep.
I was really shocked to hear that it's only 200,000 people signed up for Steam and 40,000 active accounts a day. That's tiny. I feel like we're in the first months of the internet, so early on.
Yeah.
I read it a lot, but I never signed up, just for convenience.
Lurker.
Lurker.
Right.
Yeah, but it's so new. I mean, I'm one of the few people in the world, honestly, giving presentations on Steam. And I don't even know how this happened, honestly. I just happen to be on there every day, and I got to interview the CEO, Ned Scott, back in, I think, July of 2016. Just somebody told me that Steemit was this new blockchain for social media, and honestly, I thought it was a Ponzi scheme whenever I first heard about it. So I had Liberty Entrepreneurs. I went straight to the source, interviewed the CEO, and asked him all the difficult questions. And I just happened to be a daily user on it and know how the platform works. But so let's wrap it up here. In my opinion, blockchain is changing the social media landscape for good. I don't think it will ever be the same. I think 10 years from now, the majority of social media platforms are going to be not only on a blockchain for censorship resistance, but also for token payouts. We're removing the middleman. We're not dependent on the platform owners anymore, the gatekeepers of our content. You get to connect directly with your audience and reward them back for the value that they give you, for all the downloads and the views and the shares. And you get to give and receive crypto rewards, which is great. A lot of people don't know how to buy cryptocurrency. Either their bank shuts them down, or it's difficult, or their government, like here, it's frowned upon. Well, here you can just like create content and make cryptocurrencies and tell those guys to screw off. So, all right, that's it, guys. If you want to stay connected on Twitter, I'm at Ashe_Oro. You can scan these with your phones and subscribe to my podcast, or download this presentation, and I'll take some questions. Thank you, everyone.